Devaraj. I'm an assistant professor with the Department of Mechanical Engineering, BMS College of Engineering, Bangalore. And today I'll be presenting to you all the use of Edmodo tool, how I can use it in engineering education. So to begin with my today's presentation, I'll be focusing on 6 points. The first point will be like what is this Edmodo? Is it other form of a Facebook, or how I can use this Edmodo as a social learning tool? And if I make a comparison between an Edmodo and other learning tools, what we have been using or we have been adapted to it actually, I can make a comparison and give a brief comparison of it. And if you move to the Edmodo, how I can create a classroom and the creation of a group, subgroup creation, and how I can be able to disseminate my information to the students, how it can be from the students to a teacher or teacher to the student. So all that information I'm going to give. And my fourth point, what I'll be focusing on will be like how I can engage the students outside the classroom. After 1 hour of classroom interaction, is it still I can keep the students in the learning mode? And I'll be speaking on a couple of Edmodo apps which can be used for the flipped classroom, which will make the flipped classroom a better one. And overall, like how I can use the Edmodo to create a paperless classroom. To begin with, what is this Edmodo? See, Edmodo, like we do all like communicate in the classroom, all those things. But when you're doing it actually, the sharing of information, the interaction between the students and the faculty, peer-to-peer interaction. So there is somewhere we need to have some kind of a tool where we can bring in this bonding between the students and the faculty. At the same time, when I'm doing this particular thing, that should be able to develop the skills of the students. So if I have the motive, is it possible for us to do this using this Edmodo? It's a big challenge actually. So when I look into it, as I'm using this Edmodo for the past 1 semester, I feel I can do these 3 things without much difficulty. And overall, like when you look at the Facebook and the Edmodo, the web page looks very similar. Or I can call this Edmodo to be an Facebook for a given class or your school or a college, whatever maybe your institution. And the third point, what I can tell about the Edmodo is it's a free, and there can be a kind of a secure learning platform between a teacher and a student. And the last point, and the fourth point is something like the wards. If I want to check the progress of my ward, the parents can. There is an option for the parents to log in and check without his knowledge, or how my son or a daughter, how he is progressing. So this is something like a kind of an interaction between the parents and the faculty without knowing the how my student is, how his son or a daughter is doing in the class. And the last one is like any form of digital content is there I can share using this Edmodo. So between teachers to student, or student also can share this digital content with the faculty. I made a comparison between Edmodo versus some other tools. So we have been used to the blackboard or like pencil paper teaching, which I kept on the 3rd column. And if I look at the like some of the social interaction tools, we can name it examples like a Facebook, Twitter, or Orkut, what we have been, or I can add some more to it, and an Edmodo in the 1st column. I made it a comparison on for 6 parameters. Maybe on the social connection parameter, like all the Facebook or the Twitter or Orkut, yes, it can be socially connected. And Edmodo, I can do it in the very similar fashion what I've been doing on the Facebook, which most of the students like. When you look at the GUI of Edmodo, it looks very similar to the Facebook. And when you come to the blackboard or pencil paper, the social connection, somewhere it looks like it's a limited kind of thing. The connection between the student or faculty, he wants to be more so like interactive kind of thing. That somewhere that's missing. That's what I feel. It will be limited. Maybe when it comes to handling the Edmodo or Facebook, it's both looks very similar. maybe the control from the teacher, like maybe sharing the information and all. So Edmodo has an advantage where I can control or moderate the information shared between its peers, all those things. But that won't be that's not possible maybe in case of a Facebook or a Twitter or Orkut. When it comes to a blackboard or a pencil paper, this thing, we do have this kind of a moderation is there, but that's limited. And maybe the information, profile information, it comes to Edmodo, I can make my complete profile information or your student this thing, I can make it private, maybe within a group, or it will be known one to you, maybe a teacher to the student, or to student to the parent. But that may be not possible in case of Facebook or other kind of a social learning tools. And when it comes to education oriented, so Edmodo is completely oriented towards improving this education, the way of interaction, this thing. And the blackboard, pencil, what the conventional methodologies, yes. But Facebook, to a certain extent, I can use it, but not to a complete kind of thing. And when it comes to handling some of the events like assessment, when I call it as an assessment, some of them are like a quiz, assignment and all. Maybe Edmodo, I can do it easily, and yes, it can be done. Maybe when it comes to the number of students, handling the number of students, maybe an Indian context, if I speak, maybe around 60 students. So maybe the blackboard or pencil paper, like handling the events like quizzes, assignments, it's always a difficult task for us to do it. Maybe if I use an Edmodo, it becomes easy for us. Maybe we don't have such kind of option when I use another social learning tools. When it comes to the Edmodo, how exactly the Edmodo, how we can set up an account like as a teacher. So I have shown in GUO where I need to to get a teacher account. So he has to, the teacher has to plug in his email ID and a secure password. A strong password is always a necessity, and I can sign up. So it's for free right now. So I can, once you sign up, the first teacher profile will be something like this. So it's the initial teacher profile where we need to give some more information, where I can upload the photograph of my faculty to the right hand side, and I can give my name with a title and to what grade we are teaching. So when it comes to the engineering education, we should look at the higher education, and the subject area can be your expertise, it's a technical, whatever it may be, we can put in. And I have a customization, and Edmodo profile can be like a www.edmodo.com/, it can be the name of the faculty or the teacher. So I can customize it, and I can create my profile. So once I create a profile, while in the beginning stage of creating a profile, so I was telling about like how I can make it a private kind of thing. So once you create your initial profile, I have an option like the whole profile I can divide into the 5 parameters. Maybe an account, actually account, and the email, and account is what I showed the profile. And usually like when the account is created, if someone want to join or you want to send a request, if there is an alert, all those things. So there is every option of like we used to get a lot of mails which may go to spam, all those things. So we do have such maybe an Edmodo as some kind of a thing where we can control our maybe the teacher account, where when it comes to the email and text updates, so I have an option like I have once I log in, so I can limit my alerts to a couple of things. Maybe I can limit my alerts to only the connection request or a group join request or a new group join members, and I need not tick my alert to replies or direct message, because I may get thousands of messages or mails in my email box. So I can choose, or that's something like I can make it this particular thing a private kind of thing. So which is possible in other social learning tools also, but I can do it more easily in case in an Edmodo. And privacy, when it comes to it, I can maybe if you want to be only limited to your classroom, so any private request, any connection request, I can block it, and I can show only my profile to only my connections, or to my students or my connections who are connected. So I have a little bit of privacy I can play, which may be very handy when you're creating your teacher profile. So once I any kind of a post or anything whatever there, we do have a bell kind of thing. We call it as a notification. So the notification, you can see the number of notification. If there's a 1, it indicates that the number of notification in your account is 1. So I'll be getting the notification request, and to the right hand side, whatever I showed that particular thing as an account where your complete profile information, it's a pull down menu, I can view it. And it has a different UI, like I can create whatever is there, this particular thing is a group which shows that what is the name of the group, why so the group is nothing but your classroom. So if I'm teaching one particular subject, maybe apply thermodynamics, what I'm teaching, I can create a group for the 60 students of my class as something like an ATD and maybe with an year. So ATD underscore 2014-15 will be my classroom consisting of 60 students. So that's my bigger, larger group, and any post, any kind of information I share, that is, it can be a note. I will discuss what exactly this note means, and there is an option of sending an alert, and I can create an assignment to the group, and I can give a quick quiz to the group, and I can conduct a quick poll immediately after my class. If something like a 1 hour of session, I had a one-on-one interaction with my students, right after my class I can quickly I can send 1 or 2 questions as a poll, and I can see the response from the students. And one more advantage what I can see in this is like I have a group of 60 members. So it will be difficult for us to concentrate on all the 60 members in a group. So the Edmodo has an option where I can go for a smaller groups, like the whole 60 in the classroom can be divided into maybe 10 groups or 20 groups, each group of maybe 3 members or 5 members. So what I have done as an example is like I have taken a 5-member group as one subgroup. So if I move to my, this is my classroom, so teacher classroom, this is my present classroom what I am using. So I do teach 2 subjects. So that's an applied thermodynamics, that's my one bigger group, and heat and mass transfer, that's my one more group, and I do have a small mini project, it's of 5 members, that's one group. And I do have, what are the posts I do actually, any kind of information I share with my, any kind of group, it can be with my ATD group or it can be with my HMT group, it gets reflected here. And to the right hand side I can see icons, 4 icons. They are very useful. It's something like the one like call it as a store. It's very similar to your Google Play Store, where I can have different kind of apps which I can use it for a better implementation of that particular information, sharing the information with the students. And there is one more icon where I can manage my apps, like whatever the apps I can install or I can uninstall, that particular thing I can do it. I'll come to that particular icons, all those things later. And if I want to launch an app, there is an app launcher. Just click on that particular thing. So whatever the apps installed in your account, maybe 4 to 5 apps, they just pop up. and you can pick any whatever app you want, and you can click on it, and the app will start running. And I can plan my whole class, something like for this whole month I have to conduct some 4 quizzes or 5 assignments, and the assignment with the due dates, everything I can plan it, and I can share it with my group. So I can plan my whole class using this planner. So overall, when you look at the GUI kind of thing, so it's something like more of an education oriented, where the teacher can not only sharing the information, he can do the things or share the information in whatever the way you want. So once the group is created, so usually the problem with the other maybe the social learning tools or something like that, they have to log in all the things. But once I created a group, so Edmodo has an option where it gives a 6-digit code. So the 6-digit group code. So maybe when I go to the classroom, I can just tell them that, so this is the group code what you people are supposed to log in, and you can join my code. So they have to just give this group code and with some login credentials, and they can join the group. So this is how the student join maybe the secure account looks like, maybe the first page, maybe the beginning page. So if I am a student, so the group code is provided from the teacher, and he has to plug in his first name, last name, and he can have an option of giving his username and an email, and he has to give a strong secure password, and he can sign up. So once you sign up, my student profile looks like this, where this is the student, so he belongs to the college, this particular thing, and he belongs to the groups. Maybe I and my colleague, we both are doing using the same Edmodo tool. So he is a part of my applied thermodynamics group. You can look at here. So Abhijit A to ATD. So he is a part of that particular group, and so this particular thing. So how many times he has posted, he has replied, all those things, and his interactions just popped up here. And when you look at the profile overview of this particular thing, so when you look at the profile overview, I can check in. So I'll be getting what is he, and how its past participation with respect to the quizzes or the assignment, how is he doing, all those things, and what are the activities he has been doing. So let's like posting or what are all those things. And there is an advantage. There is an option in Edmodo like where you can award badges, like a person with some 20 interactions or 20 replies, I can award a badge, something like giving an icon to him. So maybe a class of 60 students, one particular student has replied some 50 times or 60 times, I can give him a badge telling him that he is one of the best student. I can create my own badge and give it to him, just something like complimenting the student. So once the student has joined the group, so now there's an option where his parent, his father or mother, they can join and they can look at his progress. So if I look into that particular group, if I look into that particular group, and if I click on that particular member, so right now, so my group has around 71 members, and if I look up one of the student, so it's one of the student, and if I look at this information, I will be getting all the information, and like something like whether it's a student or is in the read-only mode or it's a parent code. I can change the password, like as a faculty, as a moderator, we can change the password, and I can remove him from the group. So all the options that like I can do the moderation activities, and there is an option of parent code which is very unique for each student. So parent code is unique for one particular student. So once I have this the particular parent code generated or got from the particular student, so I can provide that particular 6-digit very similar code to the parents of that particular student, and I can ask them to join the particular group. So they can they have an option. The GUI looks like this. So it's a secure account for the parents. So he has to join with this parent code, and with his name. So what is this relationship? Whether it's a father, mother, or a guardian, whatever it can be, there is a pull down menu. You can pull down, and from that you can you can log in with all the details, name, email address, secure password, and you can have for free. So this will once the parent is a part of the group, you won't be the parent won't be able to post or any kind of information, but you will be having an access, or you will be knowing what exactly his son or a daughter is doing with respect to that particular subject. And the teacher can interact not only with the student, so he can also interact with the parents. That's an added advantage. So once I have an Edmodo group created, so there's a lot many things what a teacher can control. So I'm showing the information with respect to my other group, what I call it as heat and mass transfer _ 2014-15. Right now you can look at this particular group is locked, because once I generate a student code, that code is valid only for the first 15 days. If I want to regenerate it, I can reset the code. If any student want to join this particular group after 15 days, so I have to send a reset code, or I can ask them to join using the, there is an option of like a join using URL, so that is rarely used, but the code is the first option what we ask the students to join. And if you click on this particular settings icon, so I'll be getting a pop-up window where I have an option of group settings, and I can subscribe to any kind of a RSS feed. And at the bottom, how this group post visibility, something like what are the if I'm part of that particular group, I'm the teacher for around 10 groups. So you want the latest post from that particular group to be visible to everyone, or you want this particular email or SMS updates to all my students. So I can click these icons and maybe send any kind of information or any kind of information that's between the teacher to student or student to student, so it can reach the students. So it can be in the form of an email or an SMS, or in the form of a latest updates. I can do that. And if I click on the group settings, so this is completely something like the moderating the whole group. So when you click on that, so whether what kind of the range, like something like this is usually the engineering, I can put it as an higher education, and maybe the class strength, it's more than 26 plus, and I can put all the new members to the read-only mode. If I click on this particular thing, all my new members, all my students will be in the new member read-only mode, and I can set all my parents to read-only mode. And there is an option, if I tick this particular thing, each and every post from the student will be moderated. So any kind of a discussion will get notified in my notification bar, and the student, the faculty or the teacher has to approve that particular thing so that it gets displayed in the your group icon, this thing. So whatever may be the post. So if I untick this particular thing, so it will be something like a direct interaction between the student to student as well as from the teacher to student. So that kind of the moderation or teacher control activities I can do. So once I do all these things, I can save the settings. So now my group is complete, this particular thing. So for better interaction or for better assessment, all those things, so I told that I can go for a subgroup. So I will show an example of an HMT 2014-15. This is my bigger group, which is of 63 members, including me. So what I have done is I have done an 11 subgroups of 5 each. So one group is around 3 actually. So HMT _ group 1. So if I click on that particular small subgroup, so I can see there are 6 members in it. So if I want to add any member to the existing from the HMT group, there is an option pull down menu where I can add the member by typing his name or maybe his email ID. I can add to the smaller group and I can create. So these are all teacher controlled. So I can do a smaller group of maybe 2. If I want to concentrate on out of 60 students, I want to just concentrate on around 5 to 10 students where I need to give them assignment, look at their progress in a much better. I can group them in a smaller group and I can see their progress. So this is an advantage for the teacher to concentrate on a group of students. So once the group is created or the classroom is created, a subgroup is created. So now it's the way I can communicate or collaborate between my student-to-student interaction. So I have 5 options. The first one being the note, the second one being the alert, and the third one being an assignment, and the fourth one being a quiz, and the fifth one being a poll. So when I click on the note actually, so you can get a pop-up window something like this where I can, there's an icon called as a file where I can upload any kind of a document, which can be in a Word document, it can be a JPEG format, it can be a PDF document, any kind of a document I can attach to this particular post. And if I want to share a link, a web link, I can click on this particular link, I can share that particular link with as a post to my student. And if I have created a library, so I can click on this particular library icon, and from the library icon I can pull whatever the information, I can attach the post. And maybe the last icon is like I can schedule my post to whatever the date I want. So if I want to schedule this particular note for tomorrow, so I can schedule it and then I can send it. So I can send it immediately without scheduling, or I can schedule it for tomorrow or maybe an hour later, something like it. So this is an advantage for us. So the advantage with the note is like once I create a note, so maybe the faculty can create a note, or he can share the information with the student, or the student-to-student information also, student to faculty or student-to-student information also can be shared. So I'm showing one example where a note feature has led to the threaded discussions. So one example with respect to my ATD group, what I told, how will the quality of the steam affect the blades of a turbine? So that was a question. So from one of the student. So maybe this you could have not discussed in the class. Maybe it could have been only one answer from the student, maybe the faculty, if they have put it the same question in the class. But using this Edmodo, he has asked the same question as a post, and I can see there are 11 replies. Out of that, there is only one reply from me, and there are around 10 replies from the other is peers. So maybe we can see one Uttam, he has answered to the same question, and there are a couple of interactions from other students also. This has led to the discussion between the students, and it has become something like a self-learning skill for the students, how to interact with each other and how to learn other than from the classroom. So this is a very good example what I feel where I can use this Edmodo feature, a note feature in the classroom, maybe in the whole group. So if I want to add a link, so the main advantage of adding the link is something like if I want to share a YouTube video, a single YouTube video, what I can do is like I can copy that embedded code or an HTTP link here, and immediately the title of the web page will come automatically, and I can attach to the note. So I'm showing an example where I have attached a couple of videos with respect to my conduction video lectures in my class. So they're all web links. So what exactly? So this is one form of a flipped classroom. So this will improve the content learning. Students will be able to visit this particular link again and again, maybe inside, maybe outside the classroom, and they'll be able to understand things a much better fashion. And one more advantage, I can share only the link with the students, my students, what is necessary. And the students also can share back the information with my other peers or with the whole group. And maybe we do have an option of library. So this particular thing, so library is something like where I can use, store, and I can share the information. So I have an option here where I can, the library items can be in the form of like I can upload the different type of documents. It can be a Word document, or it can be a PDF document, it can be JPEG, whatever it may be. All those things, they're all my library items. And if possible, I can, there is an option of a folder. I can create a folder for each particular group, each particular chapter. So which I can share with my students. So I can go to this particular folder and drag and drop all my library items into that folder so that I can share that folder with my students. And if there are particular links attached to the post, so that particular thing I can bring it back to my library. Maybe one of the students has attached a particular file as a post, so I can drag that information from that post and put it in my library for the whole group. That particular thing, and I can link my Google Drive account. I can link my Google Drive account to the library items, so I can store enough information in my Google Drive, and I can give the login credentials, and I can share that information with my library Edmodo library item. And there's an option of creating a quizzes instantaneously, or you can create your quiz and store in as a library item, and you can share it whenever you want. So this is an advantage where I can planning, all those things will come into effect. So coming to the alert, so this alert is more advantageous actually. Say for example, I want to inform a student right after class that maybe tomorrow we'll have a surprise quiz, or something like I can give an information, something like regarding the particular event. Maybe one particular while I was solving the problem, maybe something has gone wrong. I might have got some number wrong. I can immediately send the correct number to the. So it's an alert is something like I can send immediately according to the student, or I can have an alert, something like I can schedule the alert. So this is something like sending the quick information to the students. And coming to the next feature of collaborating with the students is an assignment. So this assignment is one feature where I feel that where the grading, all those things will come into effect. So I can load an assignment. If I click on the load an assignment, so I'll be getting an option, something like the file, very similar to what I was using for a note. I can have a link, I can have a library, and the same thing as a schedule. And I can give a due date for the assignment submission. So, and I can lock it. So if I want to going for a grade book or grading and all, I can tell. So 3 days is what the time. So this is one particular thing what we always face a difficulty. So I can, when I'm doing it in a classroom, assignment collection, all those things, I can click on the due date and lock the assignment. So there won't be any submission. So Edmodo won't allow any submissions after the due date. So this is an added feature in the Edmodo. So I'm showing a typical use of an assignment feature what I created. So this is something like if the number of students, this is if I click on this particular thing, it will clearly show number of students turned in. Sorry. So number of students turned in, and I can grade the particular thing. So once the students are turned in, once the students are turned in, maybe if a class of 10 students or 5 students, so I can pick the student who has submitted the assignment. So it is something like a turned in assignment. I can grade him. So this is the grading actually. So something like if the assignment is for 5 marks. So I can look into the document submitted from the student. It can be a Word document or a PDF document, whatever it may be. So I can look into the document, I can assess it, I can award the marks. So once I award the marks and I click on the grade, automatically it gets updated in the progress, that particular thing. So that particular student, so the progress button will clearly show what is the amount of, what is the marks he has got, and his parent also can look into that particular marks. Maybe that particular assignment number 1, so he has got 3 out of 5. So it's visible, not only the student, the faculty, it's also visible to the parent also. So like this, I'll be able to use the grade book, and if it's a group of 60 members, I can just go and look into each and every assignment submission, or if it's a group assignment also, I can look into the 5 groups, maybe one particular group of 5 students, their assignment, I can grade them. So it becomes easy for me to grade the students or looking into the assignments. So this feature is available on the Edmodo. And there is an option of assigning the quiz actually. So we do option of loading the quiz from the collection. Like I can create a quiz and load in my library, and I can load the same thing from the collection library, or I can create a quiz instantaneously. So once I click on the icon create the quiz, I'll be getting a pop-up window something like this, where I can have 5 different types of questions. It can be MCQ, one is a multiple choice question, or I can go for a true or false question, or it can be a short answer type, or I can go for the fill in the blanks or a matching. So once I can add n number of questions I want. So add first question, add second question, maybe load first question means it will go and load into that particular quiz actually. So then I can add my second question. So I can create a quiz. And I can tell about the quiz, like a quiz on conduction and radiation modes of heat transfer. And at the same time, I can show what are the options. I can tick on the quiz results, and I can have an option of randomizing the questions. So once I click on the icon assign the quiz, it will ask to whom, which group I need to assign the quiz. So I'll be getting something like a pop-up icon, something like this, with a due date. Maybe that particular, I want to assign a quiz, I want to create a quiz and load it on one particular day. I can do that, maybe 15th or whatever it may be, and add to the grade book. I can click on this icon. So once the quiz is answered from the student, automatically it gets added to the grade book and is sent to something like I can, it's for a particular group what I have created, or it can be for a given subgroup also. I can do that. And once I click on the send button, it will be allocated or it will be scheduled. If it is immediately I want to assign a quiz, it will be immediately sent to the quiz, that particular group, or I can schedule it for maybe a particular given time and a day. So the last option what we have is something like a poll. Maybe I was telling you, like right after the class, maybe I was discussing about one particular, maybe something like a difficult a topic in the class. Maybe the teacher won't be in a position to know whether how far the students are able to understand that particular topic. So I can give a simple poll question. I can ask the question and ask some 4 answers. I can have multiple questions also. Maybe answer 3 to 4 answers, and I can add the answer also, which is the answer to it, and I can send it to the particular group or the whole group, whatever it may be. So I can maybe right off the class, the number of, this is not a graded one, but I will know at least how many students will turn up at least answer to this particular question. So a typical a poll conducted for me, a typical question what I have shown is something like, this is with respect to my heat and mass transfer class, what I had, something like if air gets trapped between the 2 layers of a glass, what really happens. So reduce the heat transfer. I have given some 3 options, and I have asked one more option like if all 3 are there. So we can see around 25 students have replied to this particular tool. So advantage is like if suppose the main reason was like maybe if I'm happy that the number of responses or the positive responses that my question is on the higher end, the teacher will be happy that yes, fine, the topic discussed in the class has reached my students. So if most of the students have answered to the maybe the one which is incorrect, so then the students can, maybe the faculty can go discuss the same thing in the class. That's one option. Or he can reply it. Maybe he can discuss it. He can have a threaded discussion over the same topic at the below also. So maybe the student also can start asking the question. Maybe the other students, maybe his peer also can start replying to the same thing, and the faculty also. So I can have a threaded discussion using the same question. Maybe the difficult topic what it would have been maybe the repetition in the class, it would have taken some amount of time in the class. So I can have the similar kind of thing, a discussion, which can be brought into my Edmodo. Maybe I was telling you that if the whole thing is moderated, so the interaction between the student to student, it's all moderated by the faculty. Something like usually we used to get notifications. Maybe if it is completely moderated, the group is completely moderated by the faculty. So if there are some 30 or 40 interactions, until and unless a faculty approve it, so it won't. The notifications or the post from a student won't go into your main group. It won't appear in my. So student cannot directly message to each other if it is completely moderated. If it have not opted upon that particular moderation thing, so whatever the student he tries to bring in as a post, it will reach his peers directly. So this is one teacher moderated kind of post. Coming to the last thing, like if I can plan for the whole semester or the plan for the whole month, maybe I can have something like on that particular day, this particular activity is planned. You'll be having your quiz, you'll be having your project-based learning presentation, you'll be having your quiz due dates. So this, using my Edmodo planner, I can share. So whatever that particular thing in red, dark red, that is for my ATD group. That's for my HMT group, and the light red color is what is shared with my ATD group. And I can combined, I'm doing a quiz for both ATD and HM group. So everything gets popped up, so it is visible to the respective groups what is their due activity in that particular. So I can plan my old sessions. So maybe I can plan it for a week, or I can plan it for a month. So this is clearly I can do it using an Edmodo. Maybe the last point what I want to discuss about is like just like in the Firefox, we do have an apps. So Edmodo has come with a lot of apps out there. So for the past maybe 3-4 months during the semester, so I have been using extensively using the two particular Edmodo apps, which I found to be very beneficial when I'm creating a flipped kind of a classroom. So coming to the Edmodo apps, that particular thing. So if I click on this icon, the stores, so I'll think a pull down menu in this form where you have stores of different apps, and I can choose the app based on my subject. So we have around 10 to 12 subjects. So I have been using the apps from the subject of tools and utilities. So one of the app what I'm going to discuss is BlendSpace, and the other one is an EduCanon. So these two apps I'm going to discuss how we can create a flipped classroom, videos, and how I can make it more interactive with respect to the students when it comes to the students. So the first app what I'm going to discuss is the BlendSpace. So BlendSpace is something like if you look at this particular GUI, if I click on that particular icon, manage apps, and if that is installed in your Edmodo, and if I click on the BlendSpace, so I'll be getting an GUI in Edmodo like this. So where I can name the title of my that particular BlendSpace discussion what I'm going to do. I can call it as a thermal radiation, whatever it may be, and I have an option of searching for my information. It can be with respect in YouTube video, it can be on the Google, it can be on a Flickr, it can be on your Google Drive, it can be from a Dropbox, or you can have your own video or a document which can be uploaded. So all the options are there which I can do it, and I can search it. Once that is done, it gets displayed here. Once I click on the icon search, so it gets displayed here. I can just drag and drop into this particular thing. I can have n number of such windows where I can group all my videos, and all the videos are with respect to the thermal radiation. And one more advantage is like if I want to discuss something like the first video discusses more of a fundamentals to begin with, then what is the next lecture? Next lecture might be something like a derivation of the fundamental. Third lecture might be discussing something about the applications of the what was discussed in. I can arrange it in such a way that so once this particular BlendSpace, this video relates to that, so the sequence of videos will be able to they give the students, maybe the engineering student will be able to make the students to understand more about the subjects, maybe what would have been discussed in the class. You can repeatedly see the same video again and again, and this will inform, this will something like improve his information, actually, what are the information. Or I can, one more thing I can tell is like this particular BlendSpace will be in a position to collect as much as information, and I can manage and use this information more effectively. So this is one particular thing what I use. Thermal radiation is one particular BlendSpace what I have created, and I have created around 10 to 15 my lessons. Each lesson is something like a set of videos, and they are all with me. I'm showing you some 5 lessons what I created, and the advantage is that you can see if you are sharing with your group members, and you can see that particular video has been viewed by your students how many times. So maybe if I look at my convect and e-transfer videos, I can see my 61 of my students, 61 times of my students have seen that particular video. So you'll be knowing exactly how the videos have been effective as a flipped classroom. So which if I do the same thing using some kind of an email or something, I'll be sending a video link to the student. I will knowing whether the student has gone through, has seen that video or not. So by using this particular app, I'll be in a better position to look into it. And one more Edmodo app what I have been using is an EduCanon as an interactive video app. This app is something like I can use it if I take a particular video. It can be from any of the sources. So we have around 25 to 30 sources. So maybe one example what I've taken an video from YouTube, and I can paste the link here, and I can give a title for it, and I can give the learning object that particular title. And once it is done, actually, once this is done, I can paste the YouTube video on this thing, and once you click on that particular thing, so once you click on that particular thing, you will be getting an icon something like where your YouTube video will be playing to the left hand side. And the advantage is, like, say for example, this video, the duration of 50 minutes. The students, I won't be able to know exactly at what particular point I should ask a question. Maybe I might be thinking that I should ask a question to my student so that whether he answers to move it further, to proceed or not. So all the orange lines, what you can see, that particular thing, those are the points where I have typed in my questions. So maybe the first one, maybe at 3 minutes 56 seconds. This is the one starting from this thing. So I have asked a question, the conduction, convection, or differentiate by presence of what exactly. So when we are playing this video, when I click on the video, when this video is shared with you, so when the student is watching the video, so exactly at 3 minutes 56 seconds, the video will stop and the question will pop up. And he has to answer to that particular question to move forward. So then as I proceed, exactly at 8 minutes and 7 seconds, one more question will pop up, and convection is mainly due to what exact? It's a bulk fluid motion or a static fluid. The one in the green is the correct answer. If you if you clicked on the A, then it will proceed, or it will show a thumb down symbol, then he assumes that yes, fine. So you will be able to instantly learn. So for that small duration of the video, for 3 minutes or 4 minutes, what was taught in that particular thing, maybe I can have we can have multiple choice questions. All those things I can put in, and I can crop in the video. So all those things, editing, I can do it. But most important thing when I'm using EduCanon is something like the questions can be asked. Maybe if it's a 10-minute video, I can ask 4 to 5 questions, and I can release it to my students. And if I share it, so there is an icon to share it. So this particular icon. So when I share it, I can assign to that particular group, and each video created, it's called as bulb. And I can, very similar to my blend spaces, I can monitor how many students, how many times they have visited, how many have gone through, I have taken to the particular questions, all those things, I'll be able to monitor it. So this is an added advantage. So most of these are like web controlled. The most advantage of using this Edmodo is something like I do have an app where I have an Apple app, or it can be a Google Play Android app or a Windows Store. So if you are using a phone, if you are using maybe Android phone, I can install the Edmodo app. So all the features I discuss. So I can interact with my students from a mobile phone. So you should have an internet connection, or if you have an iPhone or iPad, I can do that. Or if you have a Windows phone, I can do that. So that's a great advantage. Every time we need not go to your maybe a computer or a laptop to see your students. So you can see the interaction, how the group is doing, how you can interact with your students from your. You can post the same thing what and all I told from your mobile phone also. To conclude, maybe I have given some main 7 points. So what exactly this Edmodo is something like? It is something like bringing in a little bit of the technology into my teaching. So we do have a blackboard teaching, we do it. So this integration of this technology will enhance the learning skills of the students. And this Edmodo is free, and it's a cloud-based one. So everything, whatever is I share with my students, whatever is there, everything is internet over the cloud, and it's very similar to. So the students are maybe they are used to using this Facebook or Twitter. So when you look at the GUI of the Edmodo, it looks like a Facebook. So students they won't hesitate in interacting with the Edmodo, just similar to the Facebook. And I can use this particular Edmodo, maybe I can use it in the classroom when I'm giving a quiz, or I can use it, maybe the students or the faculty can use in the home when they are traveling, when they are the friends or whatever, maybe wherever they are, they can use this particular Edmodo. That means like learning on the go. They can learn wherever they want. And one more, this Edmodo has created a platform where the discussion with the peers, without the teacher around, can be done if it is not moderated, or if it is moderated, teacher also can be a part of that discussion. So the threaded discussion. And assignment monitoring has become a streamline, which is a bit difficult if I try to do it manually. And the storing and the sharing of information becomes a lot easier because of the library. And if I'm using any kind of an LMS where it requires some kind of an administrator to use it, something like if I'm using a Moodle, so this Edmodo can easily replace such a learning management system. So I thank the IUC for this, giving an opportunity for this, sharing my experiences in using this Edmodo. So I have given a couple of links where you can get this information. So most of the information what I have shared are my own experiences for the past 3 months, what I have been using with respect to Edmodo. So I thank everyone. So it's time to take questions.
Sir, do we have an enterprise version of the software? Whether we will be able to install and use within the campus?
Volume.
No, sir.
Volume. Yes.
Sir, can you hear me? Hello. Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello. Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes.
Sir, questions are later.
Yes.
Do we have an enterprise version of the software? Whether we will be able to install and use within campus?
It's not like that. It's all web-based. It's not like something a software kind of thing. It's all web. www.edmodo.com. If you go and just, it's all like I can access everything using my browser. We need not install any kind of a software in your local systems.
Is there any option for changing the group codes?
Group code can be changed from the faculty. There is an option of where you can reset the code. I can do that. But once I reset the code, that code should be sent as an information to all my students, because my previous code, using the previous code, the students won't be able to join.
Can you show the reference links once again?
Reference links like so one is a PDF document, and maybe I can share the PDF document. I can email you this particular thing.
Yes.
I can share that.
Will this tool be useful for calculating average of marks, recording, evaluation, and also relative ranking?
Yes. Yeah. So the average is something like for each student, it's something like individual student. I can have a grade book, something like if I have for 10 marks for the whole assessment, maybe of that particular maybe 10 students or 20 students. So I have an option. I can there are particular apps actually, grading apps also. I can install that particular app and I can do the average grading also. I can do it. It can be done.
One of the faculty says, please make me a student in your Edmodo.
Yes.
Is that possible, sir?
Repeat, sir. I didn't get you.
Please make me a student in your Edmodo.
Yeah, that can be done. No, because once it can be done with respect to either if that particular student, if he has a group code, he can join.
Okay, sir.
Even though he is not a part of that particular maybe a class, if he is having that particular group code, he can join. So now it's left to the teacher or faculty to retain him or not. If he is not his student, so you can put him in a different group. Maybe if he's not a part of a main group, he may be a part of a main group, but is only your class is sort of part of a subgroup. So I can do that. It's left to the teacher oriented.
How storage of data is managed from teacher's side?
Yeah, there are two. One option, like I can have all my information in my library. Like I can create folders. Maybe I'll go to that particular thing, library. Yeah, I have an option of creating a file folder. So in this particular folder, I can store all my information. I can store all my information. It can be any kind of a digital content document. I can store it, or I can store everything in my Google Drive, and I can link to this particular thing. So the storage shouldn't be a problem when I'm using Edmodo. I can store it on Edmodo folders, or I can store it on a Google Drive. But what I have been using is I have been using Google Drive as my that particular things. I store a limited enough information on my Edmodo library information, and most of my information is on Google Drive, and I have linked to my Edmodo account.
If there are multiple courses on Edmodo, then does a student need to create multiple logins?
No, you should have a one login, but you can join that. So the group code is only to join that particular group actually. With one login, you can join the Edmodo. That's his login account actually. He is an account. But if you want to be a part of that particular classroom, this thing, maybe I'll come to that. Yeah, you can see here. There are two teachers. So one is me, even though he's having only one account, student profile, but he is a part of two teachers. He's a part of two teachers. So he is teaching kinematics of machines, and I am teaching applied thermodynamics. So with one profile, he can join a number of groups. It shouldn't be a problem.
Is the data stored in free cloud?
Yeah. Yes. Now, whatever information you are trying to store is like it's a cloud-based thing actually. So it should be free.
Can an institute too have an Edmodo account?
No, I didn't get you.
Can an institute too have an Edmodo account?
Can an institute? Yes. Say for example, if when I'm creating an account actually, maybe there's an option where it asks for maybe where do you teach? So you can see that where do you teach. So maybe the first person, maybe when I log into edmodo.com actually, maybe the first person has to clearly give the information about the institution. So the institution, once you give the information about the institution, so the institution has become the part of the user of that particular Edmodo account. So maybe the institution need not have an account itself. So it shows that where do you teach or where do you work. That's it. So the account is very limited to that particular faculty or a teacher.
Can students conduct poll or quiz?
No, students can only interact. Note, students can't conduct poll or quiz. Maybe students are only able to create only note, that's as a post, and alert, assignment, quiz, and poll are a part of the teacher. Maybe I'll come to that. Onto this. Yeah, you can see it's only you can post. That's it. You can only post. That's it. That's a part of a reply or a note. You can't conduct kind of a quiz or poll.
How much storage quota can faculty get?
When I'm faculty, there is no quota and all. What like at a given time, if I want to upload any kind of a file and all, maybe around 50 MB is the limitation at one particular go actually. Otherwise, you can use unlimited amount of space. So there's no restriction. But at one particular to upload this thing, so there should not be any bandwidth issues, and also I can upload up to 50 MB data. That's the
Thank you very much, sir.